Sophie Cunningham plays basketball with a defiance that's almost poetic. She doesn't ask for your attention, she demands it through grit, fire, and fearless execution. In an era where the spotlight often tilts toward finesse and flash, Sophie brings something rare to the floor: raw, relentless edge. You don't just watch her play, you feel her presence. Whether she's draining a clutch three, diving into a scuffle, or barking instructions to teammates with that unmistakable Missouri-born conviction, she makes sure you know she belongs. Because Sophie Cunningham is more than a player. She's a mood, a force, a reminder that toughness still matters in a game where it's easy to get lost in metrics. Born on August 16, 1996, in Columbia, Missouri, Sophie was bred for basketball. Raised in a sports-centric household, she carried the pressure and privilege of local celebrity before she ever stepped into the college spotlight. From the start, there was no confusing her intensity for immaturity. She was a competitor by nature, driven by the sense that she was born to make an impact. Her early years at Rockbridge High School were a blueprint for future greatness: state titles, national rankings, and a work ethic that mirrored the professional she idolized. She didn't just want to play, she wanted to be the best at whatever role was given to her. When Sophie committed to the University of Missouri, she could have chased prestige elsewhere, but staying home was a choice born of loyalty and legacy. She didn't just want to make her mark, she wanted to build something meaningful in her backyard. At Mizzou, she became not just the face of the program, but the heartbeat. Her game matured with every season: sharper shooting, cleaner footwork, a stronger sense of pace and leadership. And yet, she never lost her edge. Sophie wasn't afraid to jaw with opponents, take a hard foul, or hit the floor if that's what the play demanded. Her passion sometimes drew criticism, but it was always authentic. She wasn't playing a role, she was living out who she had always been. Across her 4 years at Mizzou, she left with accolades that read like a legend in the making: All-SEC first team, school scoring records, and the kind of legacy that made her synonymous with Missouri women's basketball. But numbers, impressive as they are, don't encapsulate her story. What defined Sophie's college career was her unwavering identity. In a world quick to mold athletes into quiet stars, she resisted the polish. She stayed unapologetically loud, intensely loyal, and emotionally available, traits that endeared her to fans and made her a nightmare for opponents. When she entered the 2019 WNBA draft, selected 13th overall by the Phoenix Mercury, there were doubts about whether her style would translate to the pros. She wasn't the most explosive athlete. She wasn't the flashiest scorer. But Sophie brought a toolkit that most rookies don't: a deep basketball IQ, a lethal jump shot, and an innate ability to raise the emotional temperature of any game she touched. And true to form, she carved out her space not by conforming, but by doubling down on who she was. Her early years with Phoenix were about earning trust, and she did that the only way she knew how: through hustle, fire, and impact. She didn't need 30 minutes a night to make a difference. In just a few plays, she could swing momentum with a steal, a corner three, or a drawn charge that energized the whole building. And when given the green light, Sophie showed that her scoring touch from college hadn't disappeared, it had evolved. Her ability to hit threes in rhythm, pull up under pressure, or finish through contact made her one of the league's most underrated threats. But perhaps what sets her apart even more than her skill set is her mindset. Sophie Cunningham plays every game like she has something to prove, even when she doesn't. That chip on her shoulder hasn't eroded, it's grown sharper. She's made it clear time and again that she doesn't back down from anything. Not physical defenders, not verbal battles, and certainly not the challenge of leading a team when the moment demands it. Her rise from bench contributor to reliable starter wasn't fueled by politics or hype. It was earned through consistency, resilience, and an ability to own the moment. Her breakout performances in later seasons with the Mercury, particularly during playoff pushes and stretches where stars were injured, proved that Sophie wasn't just a role player. She was becoming something far more impactful: a tone setter. The kind of player whose attitude spreads, whose energy becomes contagious, and whose belief in herself lifts those around her. Every great team needs someone like that, not just a bucket getter, but a culture carrier. And for Phoenix, that's what Sophie has become. Off the court, she's just as fearless. Sophie has used her platform to speak out on issues that matter, From supporting teammates in social justice initiatives to using her voice to advocate for equality in sports. She isn't just showing up when the lights are on, she's putting in the work behind the scenes, building a future where young girls watching today can believe they belong on that stage tomorrow. Her personality is magnetic, her opinions unfiltered, and her commitment to growth undeniable. She's not trying to be perfect, she's trying to be real. And in the world of professional sports, that authenticity is its own form of power. Sophie also understands the importance of branding and outreach. She's active on social media, not in a performative way, but in a connective way. She engages with fans, shares her daily grind, celebrates wins, and owns the losses. She lets people in, not just to her life as an athlete, but to her life as a human being. That transparency has made her beloved by fans far beyond Missouri or Phoenix. Whether it's young girls in Colombia or basketball junkies across the globe, people gravitate towards Sophie because she represents what it means to compete with heart and humanity. There's also a broader context in which her career is unfolding. The WNBA is undergoing a renaissance, growing in visibility, investment, and cultural relevance. And players like Sophie Cunningham are essential to that growth. They're not just part of the league, they're helping shape its future. Her style, her voice, and her presence bring a different flavor to the W. One that mixes toughness with personality, edge with empathy, and fire with finesse. She is proof that this league doesn't just need stars, it needs stories. And hers is still unfolding. As Sophie enters her prime, there's no question that her best basketball is still ahead of her. She's refined her game year after year, becoming more efficient, more dangerous, and more versatile. She can guard multiple positions, knock down big shots, lead a fast break, or reset a broken play. But beyond the stat sheet, what she brings is harder to quantify. Momentum-shifting plays, energy that lifts teammates, and a fierce belief in herself that spreads to everyone in the locker room. Her journey so far hasn't been without its setbacks, injuries, role limitations, underestimation, but she's met every obstacle the way she plays the game, head-on. She's the kind of player who turns doubt into fuel, who uses every slight as motivation, and who finds strength in every challenge. Sophie Cunningham doesn't just show up for the easy moments, she thrives in the hard ones. She's the teammate who takes the charge, the leader who speaks truth even when it's uncomfortable, and the athlete who plays every possession like it matters. Because to her, it does. And that's the story we often miss in a highlight-driven world. Sophie's greatness isn't just in the games she's won, the points she's scored, or the records she's chased. It's in the way she's done it. Loudly, passionately, authentically. She hasn't waited for permission to lead, to speak, or to believe in her own path. She's carved it, brick by brick, with every hustle play, every dagger three, every sideline scream, and every post-game embrace. So if you've ever doubted the power of passion, if you've seen someone turn criticism into conviction, if you believe that the fiercest players are often the most misunderstood, then don't let this tribute end here. Like this to honor the fire starters. Share with someone who plays like every minute matters. Subscribe to About Celebrities for more stories of resilience, rebellion, and rise. Until next time, speak with honesty, compete with heart, and remember, legends don't always whisper. Sophie Cunningham shouts her legacy into existence, one fearless play at a time.